To 27 Degrees SAG. I'm your host, Kimla Lowe. If you are trying to reach me on Facebook, you have to come over to YouTube tonight. So, yeah, we've been having a little bit of technical difficulties. Why not? It's the eclipse. I mean, come on. Not everybody, gets a hall pass on this eclipse. This is going to be fun stuff. Really, a lot of astrology goodies coming your way. And I am in my new place. Oh, yeah, I'm in my new place. And it's a little echoey in here. We still need to get the things on the walls. But it's so nice. And it was just really nice to manifest, something that started out as a vision board. So, yeah, so I'm really happy about that. Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for coming along with me. We've had so much fun as far as, doing some things. I'm just going to say, come over to YouTube and Facebook for some reason is not connecting with me. So there we go. There we go. All right. Hello. Yeah. Well, you know what? I fly by the seat of my pants anyway. So there you have it. Today it's April 19th and it's a new moon solar eclipse in Aries at 29 degrees. In some places, it's going to be April 20th. So depending on where you are, when the transit happens, because a lot of times we have different latitudes and longitudes involved, and that's why we always ask for the birth time in your astrological chart. So that would be why. Geraldine, yes, hello. Why? Yeah, we like to have everything exact degrees. We're going to be talking about that tonight. We're also going to be talking about how intense these last couple of days in May are showing up for us. And also, we're going to be talking about what kind of transitions and what kind of changes we are getting ready for in our lives. Because what we've got happening is, seriously, we have got some changes that are just going to be coming out of nowhere. But it could start out as maybe a crisis, but then it just kind of irons itself out. And we're like, oh, wow, this was really an opportunity in disguise. And so we're going to be talking about that too. I'm also going to be talking about the effect and the seriousness of lunar eclipses and solar eclipses. So we are going to get into the nitty gritty. I hope everybody can find me. I am on YouTube.com tonight, and we're going to be getting some more affiliates just for you. We're going to be branching out a little bit. We're going to be expanding a little bit. We're also going to be taking some of the older shows and bringing them forward for a couple of weeks until we're getting all of the kinks out. So yeah, but I'm happy to be with you tonight. How's everybody doing? Good. All righty. One of my wonderful followers that has been following me for a long time texted me over a show that we did April 20th of last year. She said, I didn't realize that you had been on, with your show with 27 Degrees SAG for this long. I think a lot of you have kind of come along with me over the years as clients, but you may not have known that I've been on the air in radio and video for almost 10 years now. I know it's been a long time. So I'm just so happy to grow old with you and hold each other's hands while we get through this thing called life, right? Prince is just like so right on when he talks about all of that. But it's true. We have to bounce our ideas off of each other. We have to take risks. We have to see, um, anything to do with gaining some clarity in these particular times. That's what it's all about. It's all about goodwill, kindness. But if you can have somebody in your tribe or in your inner circle that has a little bit of intuition, psychic ability, also can feel the energy of where you're being directed and why you should be moving in that direction, that's what you want to rely on. And the indigenous tribes always had a medicine man, always had a spiritual guide. These particular tribes were not just based on warriors and warring like you see depicted in the movies. I mean, there was much wisdom about what to eat, what not to eat, the medicine, the herbs that is so important today that we're now coming back to. We've got a lot of these particular things that that are commonplace now in my circles, but maybe not so much if you have been tied up in the medical field. So there's Geraldine, you made it. Yeah, Facebook tonight, for some reason, there's a glitch. And so we are on YouTube. So I'm glad you found me. Welcome to the show. We're going to be talking about the new moon solar eclipse and what's happening today and tomorrow. I want you to know this is nothing to fear. A lot of people won't go outside during an eclipse. They won't, they won't make decisions, or they won't go forward, or, they won't feel creative. The one thing that I have to say is having this particular new moon solar eclipse. Is that new moons are a wonderful time to go inward because the moon is dark, right? So when the moon is dark, because the sun and the moon are together, the moon is actually in front of the sun. And so it's blocking that bright energy. This new moon in Aries is a very let's get into it. Aries is a fire sign. It's very direct. It's very aggressive. It's very competitive. It is the type of energy that gets you up, that gives you that spark, that tells you to do things, that says, "Why not? Let's do it. Let's do it now." Stop wasting time. They're very impatient. They want things and they want it yesterday. Yeah. So in this particular time, these energies really have been bubbling up for the last month. We've also had the new moon in Aries last month, and so what we have tonight is we have this solar eclipse. Now they're calling it a hybrid. Now, what's a hybrid? This is the new term. Everything is a hybrid, right? Everything is something that, oh wow, it's something kind of a combination or an AI or those kinds of things. But we had a new moon in Aries at 1 degree on the 21st of March. And that particular new moon really favored any kind of creative activities, entrepreneurial projects, anything that you were going to be striking out on your own and doing things, as far as beginning of things, or, taking risks, just like I was saying before. But with this Aries, this particular new moon now, April 19th, we've got this solar eclipse. Now, solar eclipses are said to have such an intensity. It's almost like, it's almost like the other new moons are sparklers and this is a rocket. Okay. I mean, that's exactly how I look at it, with such intensity, with so much power behind us and behind the movements of the cosmos, that you are going to feel this no matter what sign you are. Let's be real here. If you're an Aries, you're really going to feel it about yourself. You're going to start, a new program. You're going to do, really take an overall look at yourself and how you can improve on anything from exercise to valuing yourself, to also giving people the ear that you may not give people. You may want to finish the sentences and get them on the way, because you kind of already know where they're going. But now you're going to be more relaxed, but you're going to feel it on the inside. You may have heart palpitations. You may feel feverish. You may feel as though, you need to drink a lot of water, like you need to be hydrated. You may feel as though where you're maybe going to a meeting place, you have to be there first. You can get compulsive. You can be obsessive about getting somewhere, doing something. You can't just stay still. You've got this huge energy rift that's happening. And so for all of my Aries babies out there, I want you to know that I'm here. We can have a session, kimlalowe.com at any time. And we are going to, explain exactly where this is happening in your chart, how it's going to come up, who are the players that are going to be aiding in your experience, and how you are going to be using this particular juice. Okay. So with this new moon, new moons, new beginnings, time to plant the seed, time to get out there, time to say to yourself, you know what? All of these things I want to come into my life. All of these things. You write down 10 wishes. You can do a vision board if you want. Just make sure there's 10 different things on there. When you sleep, you actually open a portal to the other side for manifestation, for visitation, for recharging stations, a lot of different things. And that's why we need to get our rest, and that's why we need sleep. We also go into different timelines. We go into different travel times. We do a lot of things while we sleep. And if you are, during these solar eclipses, we may feel so exhausted. We may feel like we've got lead in our feet and our butts. And it's just like things are moving so slowly, right? But for Aries, Aries is pushing, pushing, pushing. Aries does not know to go with the flow like Pisces. No, there's no way. Aries is like, it's military. We march and we go forward and we get the job done. And so for all of you out there, you have Aries in your chart somewhere. And so with this solar eclipse and what's going to be happening, we've got a huge amount of planets that are all in the sign of Aries. And they're all having a great time with this new moon, except for Pluto. Pluto, the transformation, it's death and rebirth. It is really having a hard time, and it's getting cranky. It's getting real cranky. And so it's so important, if you want to become a student of astrology and you want to understand your soul imprint, your birth chart, the degrees are really important. So today and tomorrow, we have this solar eclipse in Aries at 29 degrees. Now, this show is called 27 Degrees Sag because 27 degrees in Sagittarius is noted as the portal to the galactic center. When we have any sign at 29 degrees, that is called the anorectic. And that is not has nothing to do with anorexia or not eating or obsession about being thin or anything like that. It's a different spelling, anorectic. And this particular degree, it is for this eclipse is at 29 degrees. Now we have 60 minutes in that degree period. This is happening at 29 degrees, 50 minutes in Aries, 10 minutes away from going into Taurus. This is important because of the fact that any planet that is directly opposite us, that is our shadow. You know, people talk about shadow work. That sign in astrology holds the key to your shadow work. And people always say, well, you can't you can't really be whole or you can't really make progress unless you do your shadow work. You know, I hear this all the time. In astrology, it's just the traits of the sign that's opposite your sun sign. So, why is this important? This is so important because at 29 degrees, we have this intensity that is none other. If you have any of your planets that were, that are showing up on your birth chart in 29 degrees, that's an area where you need to learn your lessons. You have to go over things. It could be a crisis point. It could be a turning point. It could be something has got to give. It could be that the things that you have learned now go into play. It could be that something that you have refused to look at, to take responsibility for. Now, all of a sudden, here it comes up to play. This is so important. Why? Because we have got Pluto. Pluto was at 29 degrees. It has since gone into Aquarius at 0 degrees. So we've got Pluto, who's kind of cranky, making a square to this solar eclipse, and he's indicating, sending us a message. Whoa, there's big transformations coming in the very near future. Solar eclipses. Solar is masculine, lunar, feminine. So solar, something new is going to be coming up in regards to masculine. And it could be something that, comes right like a rocket. It's boom. It's explosive. It could be that in your particular chart, okay, 29 degrees, 50 minutes, it could be that this change or this transformation can take place not just on this day, but it holds an impact. It holds an impact of at least 6 months. Now, what I'm going to tell you is that Pluto is going to be at 0 degrees Aquarius, but it's going to go into back into Capricorn at 29 degrees. It's going to go back and forth this 29 degree period, squaring, making challenges. So we've got this, you know how sometimes they shoot a rocket and then you hear about, oh, years later, the debris is just falling to earth now. That's could be what's happening in your chart as well. But what's going to happen here? This is the big stage, and I'm going to set it for you. We've got this rocket. It's hot. We're going somewhere. We're making changes. This is going to be great. And then all of a sudden, this whole stage shifts into Taurus, an earth sign, a grounded sign, doesn't like change, doesn't like risk, does not like to move. Okay. So here we have this kind of false start going on about your new things, about what's happening. And on the 20th, the sun enters Taurus. Right. And with this, I don't want you to look at this with fear. I don't want you to, we got to get through this. This is awesome. We're going to use the brawn. We're going to use the brawn of Taurus and the brains of Aries and the enthusiasm. We are going to use that aggression to really push us through change. We may also have some type of situations or issues on the outside that force us to change. Perhaps you'll get an opportunity to take a job somewhere else, or to have a new position, or to head up a team, or to launch your own gallery show if you're an artist, or something like that. But it's going to move. These changes that this Aries new moon solar eclipse, this Aries started, is going to move methodically, is going to move substantially. Okay, because that's how Taurus moves. So Aries shoots it off. 10 minutes later, it goes into Taurus. The sun moves into Taurus. And then on the 21st this week, Mercury turns retrograde. What? So we've got all of this going on. Mercury turns retrograde at 16 degrees Taurus and will not go direct until May 14th, 2023, in Taurus at 6 degrees. So if you look at your birth chart and you locate that 10-degree period, 10 minutes to Taurus, 10 minutes in, numbers always come down to one number. So 1 and 0 is always 1. This has to do with you, yourself, and you. The changes that you need to make: financial, valuing of yourself, loving yourself, putting yourself, realizing not only the potential that you have, but that this is a gift. This is an amazing gift. It's tied to the earth. Mother Earth wants you to have these gifts, but is taking you step by step. Remember, Taurus does not like to change. So we're going to go retrograde now. We're going to go retrograde to May 14th. We're going to go back. We're going to go through what was holding us back, what we missed. The messages that people and places and things and issues of the past that hold messages for us, secrets that we overlooked or forgot about, or just wasn't in a frame of mind to really take in. So these are what's called trend makers. So if you're creative, if you are getting some things together, some new things together, and you have projects, or you're designing a web page, or a storefront or something, what you want to do is you want to pay attention to the process of creativity. So the process of creativity, there must be an incubation period. Once you think of these things, all these wishes and all these new things that you want in your life, just like Bill and I, we did our vision boards. We wanted to get into Margaritaville. We wanted, to have a new home, and here we are. We just moved in. Last night was our first night. Whoopee! We had a great time. But what I want to tell you is that there has to be an incubation period. That's when the universe sends everything that you need, every kind of vibe, every kind of frequency to make that happen. Use this particular time while Mercury is in retrograde. Use it as that incubation time to build your confidence, to get those messages, to get those things in line as far as financial moves go, or perhaps to create a new financial plan. These are going to be some things that are going to just happen naturally. But now that I'm pointing them out, you're going to go, oh, this is what she was talking about. So even though Pluto is going to be cranky and Pluto's going to be there going, oh no, we've got to demolish everything and start over. Okay. You can't go forward with the little wibbly wobbly, vehicle you're driving. We need to get new tires. We need a new paint job. We need a new engine. We need some faster stuff here. We got to get the big computer in the car, and we got to, do all these new things. And guess what? If that process happens, you're going to be so happy driving this vehicle, that would compete with Tesla. So this is the time. This is a gift, because on May 14th, what we're going to experience in May, we're going to experience, May 14th is Mother's Day, but we're going to experience this huge expansion because Jupiter is going to enter into Taurus on May 16th. So everything that we've been incubating through this Taurus season is going to go. And I'm telling you, you're going to come back to me. I know you will, but know that we are pre-planning here. That's what I'm good at. I'm really good at timelines. And, I've had some of my clients for 23 years and I love them. I love them all. And why? Because the timeline, they watch it happen. It's not going to happen overnight here, just so that you know that it's not going to happen overnight. Also, what I think is really going to be fun is throughout this year and also 2024, we're going to have another chance to experience 29 degrees, that anorectic degree, as Pluto goes back and forth, okay, until it finally, in the beginning of 2024, goes into Aquarius to stay for 20 years. So let's just give ourselves time to breathe, give ourselves time to take in the new direction, take in some new frequencies, expand the heart, know that the past is there for a reason. We're all, with this Aries energy, everybody's, competing and trying to get number one and trying to win the race. When Taurus is like, I've got a great view and I'm taking my time and, I'm going to experience what it's like to be in the race, but I'm going to take everything I learned and apply it. That's what we're going to be doing. So for this particular eclipse, I really feel like you're going to want to expand, push off, do something. And then you may have some new perspectives like, wow, that wasn't really what I wanted after all. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking I have more value, I have more know how, I have more wisdom, more knowledge, more experience. I can handle much, much more. So during this time, we're really going to be evaluating um, value in so many different ways. So many different ways. I also want to talk about when the sun goes into Aries on April 20th as well. Um, Taurus and Aquarius. Taurus, the sun is in Taurus, Pluto's in Aquarius at 1 degree. So we've got this this crisis period happening as well. Humanity is going to be in an uproar. We could also come to pass something that was happening. I want to say the last time we had this was in 2004. So the last time we had this eclipse. So what were you doing in 2004? Um, we can kind of look back, and a lot of times our cycles do that. They make us look back, but we're kind of thinking, geez, what was I doing in 2004? Was I launching something? Was I building something? Did I get married? Did I have a child? What was going on in 2004? Because that's going to come up again. And it's going to come up because in 2004, what was trying to manifest or be birthed at that particular time had really challenging energies around it. And this time, we have got a higher frequency. So you may really have smooth sailing on getting this done in May or getting this done in June, okay, before Venus takes its retrograde in Leo during the summer. So we've got some times, we got some big chunks of time where I think we are going to see where we're headed in a very clear way. But remember, don't get carried away with that energy. Take it step by step. Pluto, it's funny because, with this particular solar eclipse, we have the ending. I want to say we've got a lot of beginnings with new moons. It's a beginning for some male in your group to go off, to blossom, to do something else. For you, it's kind of an ending on that relationship, or it's kind of an ending about kind of how things were, or it could be something that, okay, we're putting that in a different perspective, and now it's going to be new with this person. I just feel like with Pluto demanding, there to use its manipulative power to be transformative, you could get a glimpse of people who are misusing their power. This could be on a global scale. This could be in a state. This could be in your office. This could be in your family. This could be perhaps you don't even know you're doing it. How am I, manipulating people? How am I misusing my power? Because of the fact that that's what Pluto is all about. Pluto is hugely powerful. We need power, but we need to know how to direct it. It's the same thing with intuition, same thing with psychic ability. Same thing with language and communication. If you know how to direct it and how to make it appear, it is manipulative, right? However, it can be extremely powerful. Powerful for one side and powerful for another side. Could be used in a powerful awakening tool. It could be used, powerfully to restrict someone or inflict pain on someone, or perhaps misguide them in some way, shape, or form, or to get what you want instead of what's best for humanity. When Pluto is now in Aquarius at 0 degrees, it's starting out to show you that we need to change, we need to transform humanity. And that it's happened before. It's otherwise we would be these beastly creatures being like dragged by our hair. Of course we have been enhanced. Of course we have been directed. We have changed so much just in the last 50 years that I'm 50, 60, 70, what's a decade, right? But think about 100 years ago. It's crazy. Think 50 years ago. Think about when you were little, how things have changed. Technology is going to be zooming in. Now, we are going to be facing a couple of decisions. So, in May, after Mercury comes out of its shadow, which is 2 weeks after, we've got Mars coming up. Mars is invisible right now and doesn't really pack that much of a punch. That's why these particular changes aren't to be abrupt. They're not going to be anything that you can't face. This is going to be something that, that you're going to take in stride. And you're going to say, I've got to look for the silver lining in this. I can't just say, oh God, what are you changed our whole plan that we've been working for, saving for, or, all of a sudden outside activities may present themselves to where, now, we've got to really go with this change that, that's happening all around us. It could be the money. It could, money is one of these things that's going to be going up and down all through 2023 with Pluto going back and forth, and, and big business is going to be coming back, does not want to relinquish control, because Pluto's that control freak, and he's going to be cranky today and tomorrow. He's also, I want to tell you again about how critical 29 degrees is. It's some astrologers call it the degree of fate, of destiny. If you have 29 degrees in Cancer, it's the degree of the millionaire. We should say billionaire these days, but it's the degree that you are going to be in the higher financial market. Let me know if you have any planets at 29 degrees. So I feel as though a lot of people may have 29 degrees or 0 degrees. 29 degrees, like I said, it goes 29 degrees 1 minute, 2 minutes, all the way up to at 60 minutes, it turns to 0 degrees in the next sign. Okay, so it would be 29 degrees, 50 minutes, 59 seconds, boom, it'll go into 0 degrees in the next sign. That's how it works. So if you want to, there's a whole meaning behind every single degree, every single degree. What I also want to get into is north node and south node of the moon. Eclipses are tied to the nodes of the moon. And in this particular, we've got people coming and going, Yeah, it's just like, okay, open season here. Hi. Yeah, so we've got a north node North node is your compass direction and where you're headed for this particular solar eclipse. This is the path that you're on. This is your journey. This is why you're here. So any kind of changes that are coming up for you, even if they're wrapped in a challenge or a crisis, it's going to work out and it's going to be exactly where and what you're supposed to be doing. Let's talk about, because really this particular eclipse in my eyes should really be in Taurus, but it's not. We're lagging behind on the timeline here because directly opposite on in May 5th. May 5th, we've got that full moon lunar eclipse. You know, we've got the masculine and the feminine. We've got to have the Tai Chi, right? That's what it's all about. Life is Tai Chi, balancing out the masculine and the feminine. We've got the full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio at 15 degrees. Now, this is where we get a little dicey because Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. And with this particular lunar eclipse and a full moon lunar eclipse, we're looking at, and I want to say anybody who has a sun, a moon, a rising in Scorpio, book a session with me and I'll explain everything and how it's going to work for you. And let's make out a plan of attack so that you can really avoid landmines and you can really avoid some manipulative practices that are going to be happening. But what's going to happen here is this is the shadow work of Taurus. So this is the addictions. This is the secrets that have been held. This is a lot of the underworld trauma, abuse. When you suffer a trauma, a lot of times your soul can fragment. Your soul can shatter, and pieces can be found even down under in the underworld that we need to claim. And, you know, if you've studied with any kind of shamans like I have, you will learn to take the journey down under. You will learn about the power of the animals. You will learn about gathering up different pieces of self and putting it back together. You will learn to heal. You know, you will learn why that trauma happened, whether it was a generational thread that needed to be broken. You will learn about the transparent gifts pain can really have for us, and what's the use of pain on planet Earth. But this particular full moon, it has a lot of, you know, arguing back and forth and a lot of clearing. It's not going to be lovey-dovey. It's going to be, you're going to get called out, and you know, people are going to really hit you hard. It's one of these eclipses, I think, that we really all need to be into protection mode. If you visualize yourself in an armor of silver, if you know, wear religious items, you can have your beads, you can have your cross, you can have ask Archangel Michael to accompany you and your children. And this is a portal where you are going to see perhaps some people that are taking their exit tickets to transform, to exit the planet, you'll just see a lot of acting out during that time. So I really want you to be in protection mode. I'm going to be, I'm going to be very honest here, is people who see things differently than perhaps the higher frequency. We're all good here on the planet. We're all here to, to harmonize and love and make things work. Some other people have a very different perspective on what their mission is. You're going to hear them come out really loud, very loud, and you're going to feel outnumbered. And that's where we really all need to get together and do some tribal work. Whether it is a drum circle or a group meditation or just cleansing, just to do a nice cleanse. Scorpio is a water sign, cleansing through a lot of water, whether it is, salt water or fresh water or whatever that is. Scorpio can be very intense. Why? Because Scorpio has no fear. Scorpio doesn't fear at all. The only thing that Scorpio has to it is that it feels things so deeply that they're wounded warriors almost, things that have happened to them. And over time, if they're not healed or try to transcend that particular timeline where all of the wounding and the hurt and all of that, and the addiction and the manipulation, where that was, they can always raise their frequency higher. Always, 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 always. But they have a hard time. They have something in common with Taurus. They have a hard time forgiving and the grudging, holding the grudge. And what that does is it actually holds them as a prisoner of their own pain, of their own sense of low frequency. So we need to, and Scorpio's in every one of our charts somewhere. And so there's a little bit of wounding somewhere. There's a little bit of a hiccup there. There's a little bit of really a lot of pain, a lot of intensity. There is also light that comes through this. It's not all dark. There's light that comes through this piercing. And what it does is it has the opportunity to give you an experience that looks like a catalyst to open you up so that you can accept the love and you can leave the shame, the blame, the guilt, the pain, and you can trust again. So this is one of those very, very intense, intense lunar eclipses. So the feminine. So a lot of times you're going to find someone in your circle, someone you know, a female who is going to be leaving the inner circle, moving hopefully onward and upward throughout these changes. And that May 5th is Cinco de Mayo, everybody. So have a margarita on me. Also, right around the corner from that, Venus is going to be going into Cancer. We've already got Mars there. So how this is going to play out is that people are going to be super protective. They're going to be mother hens. Cancers rule the mom. They rule the home. They rule, real estate, cooking, medicine. This is the mom stuff. Did you take your vitamin today? Did you make your bed today? Did you do this? Did you do that? They henpeck you. They think that they're caring about you. And a lot of, especially Aries, they can't handle that. They're like, oh, if I hear that one more time, if I needed another mother, I would have one. So during the times when we've got Mars and Venus in Cancer, make sure that you are not momming in your partnership. because that's going to be highlighted hugely, 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 hugely. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm saying that sometimes it can go overboard. All right. Sometimes we can get so protective of our children and so protective of our homes. And sometimes out of this act of protection, we are going to stand up for our rights that, perhaps have not been heard or taken advantage of through this Pluto manipulation, through this power play. So it could be showing up. And I've said this so many times where the moms are the ones who are going to stand in power, and who are going to say, look, things are way off kilter here. I can remember when all of the moms stood up and banned alcohol for whatever, and it was prohibition. It was very transitional for a lot of people. But what happened, right? All of the drinking, all of the liquor, all of the vices went underground. And so this could be something having to do with financials as well. Any kind of financial dealings, any kind of currency, anything that's happening will go underground. So we're going to be looking at some really interesting times. I'm here for you. I'm here to take a look at what's going on in your personal chart. If you have any natal planets at 29 degrees, this could be coming into play in your life as far as some big steps, because eclipses change your life forever. Your life will never be the same, and we can make good things happen. We can be aware, right? We can be aware, just like you get the thing on your phone where it says, oh, there's an accident up here, or, oh, speed check, speed check coming on the highway. I mean, this is something that I'm doing. I'm just kind of saying, okay, this is what's coming up for you. I'm here to help you. And if I can, book a session with me, and I'd love to discuss and answer any questions that you have, and hopefully give this particular series of eclipses a real, I want to say, accept them and the gifts that they have to offer, because they do. So I'm going to say hi to Geraldine. Hey to Sheila. Hi, Ivy. How are you? And hello, everybody. Thanks so much for listening. Congratulations to you two on your move. Yay! Thank you so much. Yes, I did ask Bill to carry me over. He did kind of yeah, we did kind of carry each other over. um, if anybody's been moving lately, it's it's a chore. I don't know of anybody that likes to really move from one shell to the next, but we do it, and it's for wonderful either inner expansion or outer expansion, or perhaps just to experience a new surrounding, a new civilization, a new weather, right? New weather. It could be a new elevation, anything like that. So and another thing that's really cool is I do this Chinese astrology timeline, and it shows your series of your particular elements that change. You could have an 8-year cycle, you could have a 9-year cycle, you could have 10, you could have 12. but your life goes in cycles with different combinations, like a different recipe of elements that you need to have around you at the time, which I'm talking about water, I'm talking about wood, I'm talking about earth, I'm talking about metal. Um, I'm talking, what did I miss one? Yeah, I think I did. But what I like to do is to combine that Chinese elemental chart with your Western chart, because then I can say to you, if you're thinking about moving, your Chinese chart really puts you towards the water, or it puts you towards the forest or the mountains, or we can really pinpoint it down exactly what's going to be taking place. Whether for the first time in your life, you're going to know how to get your financials together. You're going to know the ins and outs of what it takes to be an administrator or admin, lessons in life. Sometimes when we have a lot of water, there's a lot of sentimental values. There's a lot of drama that happens. There's a lot of creativity, a lot of writing, a lot of painting, a lot of songwriting, a lot of music and beauty and things like that come out of a lot of water energy. When you're earth energy, you're very stable. It's a stable time for you. You build things, and you make your goals in life. If you're building a family, or you're building a new home, or you're building a company, these are specific things, and you can start out with having a real fire element, where you're a real firecracker. When you're young, you're talented, you have you're an early bloomer, you get to the top quickly, and then all of a sudden, this cycle will change and some new elements will come in, and then you'll experience steadiness. And so I love to combine all of that in for your particular session. I find that it is something nobody's doing, and it's so helpful to know, especially from a design perspective, because if you're building a home, you are going to be in that stage of the elements around you. You are going, if you're in wood, let's just say you're having a wood cycle, you're going to want wooden floors. You're going to want the color greens a lot and browns a lot. You want to have trees. You want to have a yard. You may want to have a green belt behind you. You may want to do a cabin, a wooden cabin, a log cabin, something like that. And I'm going to point it out that, in a year, you're going to be going into a totally different phase. So, can we combine the new upcoming phase into what you're building now? Because I'm the one that wants you to be happy for 20 years in this house. I want you to build something you're going to feel very good about in the future. So that's where I'm kind of relied upon about choosing things and colors and things like that. And also, for compatibility as well. So I hope you enjoy these eclipses. I hope you have a wonderful Taurus week ahead of you. The sun is going into Taurus, and Taurus is an Earth sign, right? How appropriate that we have Earth Day is April 22nd. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about some steadiness coming in. We're talking about not being frivolous with the money, knowing your value, knowing if you are going to invest in something that you're going to get return out of it, and knowing the value of those around you and the value of your time and your energy. Value every single moment that you're here on planet Earth. This is a gift. You got to unwrap it slowly, but give gratitude every single day. And I'm so grateful for all of you coming along with me. And I'm going to be kind of shuffling my schedule a little bit, but I will have a show on Wednesdays. I'm going to also be doing a little bit of traveling, trying to keep you near in my heart, and putting up my live shows whenever I can. I am just so grateful that you're interested in astrology, you're students of feng shui, and that you're grateful for my energy. So it's a grateful exchange. Thank you so much. Until next time, may the angels protect you and guide you. Enjoy the eclipses, everybody.